Welcome to another episode of Girl Sesh, where three friends in midlife want to talk about all things that encroaches on us on midlife, things we think we might know about, and things we have no freaking idea where it's coming from. Like this pregnancy tired thing, two-toned faces, and like weight loss, the whole thing. So today with my hosts, Stephanie and Lisa, and I'm your host, Wonderful. We are going to talk about redefining beauty in midlife. So, my name is Wonderful Morrison, and I am 51. And yeah, when I hit 50, I was like, what is this 10 pounds? Wait, hold on. No, what's this 20 pounds? And how do I I am more in love with myself at this age, but also 20 pounds heavier. And I don't know if it's at 20 pounds that's driving me nuts or that the clothes that I have in the closet demand me to wear something different. I don't know. I don't know where that's at. So, anyways, that's me. What about you two? Introduce yourself.
Oh, Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie Groves. I am midlife, 50 years old, and going through exhaustion like nobody's business. I feel like it's pregnancy exhaustion. No, I'm not pregnant, so it's not that.
Could you
And it's
imagine
just,
though?
oh no, I would not be wanting having grandbabies. Totally fine with watching being pregnant at 50 and having a kid. I don't want to think about it.
Oh
Like,
God, sounds
no,
painful.
thank you. No, so that is what I'm going through right now.
I am Lisa. I am 45 and I am I'm in a different midlife era because I still have young kids. And so as you can see, this is not foundation. This is because I sit in the sun here in Seattle to watch my kid play baseball, but it's so cold, so I'm like this. So my face and my hands are one color, but my neck is like my natural color. Apparently, this is what's going on in my beauty world. Also, my kids gave me strep throat for Mother's Day, so that was great.
Woo!
And being on antibiotics also makes your skin more susceptible to burn. So I think
Ah.
that's why I also have this going on because, yeah, yeah, this is great. I love it so much. So embracing this beauty that I see here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about like what your beauty like regiment was in your 20s and then in your 30s and then in your 40s and then now, right? So obviously, Lisa, you're gonna say in your 40s. Because my 20s, you guys, I didn't even know what foundation was, to tell you the truth. Like foundation was not a thing for me in my 20s, but I grew up in the era where you lit up your eyeliner
Yep,
and you blew on it, right? And you had
yep.
to
And
have
then you
that
put it like
perfect
right
balance.
on.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had to have that perfect balance where it was soft and
But
getting hard, like, and you had to put it on real. And and then that's so I was still really just mascara and eyeliner. And I had a thing about eyebrows. So in the 90s, thin eyebrows were the thing. And I loved that whole penciled in look. So that was my 90s look, or no, that my 20s look. And then my 30s look was I had a little bit more freckles because I was exposing myself to the sun a lot more. And honestly, I had judge me all you want, but my husband got me a tanning bed in my 30s because I live in Washington State, which is one of the most unsunned states, and seasonal depression was a real thing, but nobody knew about it. Nobody knew what it was, right? Doctors weren't really up to it. So I needed to be exposed to sun more than anything else. So that's what that was for. And but it also gave me more freckles, sunspots, right? So, but I still didn't use foundation. And my and I sucked at eyeshadow and things like that, but I tried. I tried my best. And no skincare regimen, like none in my 20s, none in my 30s. And then I hit 40 and I was like starting to develop these bags under my eyes, which is hereditary actually. And I didn't know what to do with that. And when I started getting fake lashes, oh, that was such the jam. And I've always done this winged eyeliner, but now I'm kind of really perfecting it. And then my 40s, I started wearing foundation, but I only knew about high-end foundation, so I was very sparingly using it because I didn't think I needed it. But also, when Giorgio Armani came out with a foundation that was like silk, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I loved MAC because my pigment is really I have I have more pigmented than most, so I couldn't use drugstore. And now let's fast forward. I swear to God, I spend more time and more energy and more, I don't want to say money because I've gotten smarter with my products, but Korean skincare is my jam. Like I freaking love Korean skincare more than anything. And if I could go to a facial spa regularly, like 4 times a month, I would do it because I love that stuff. But the thing is, it's evolved a lot because I don't think I'm as pretty today as I was in my 20s. I didn't need as much. This is my own self-talk, right? I look at because I'm 20 pounds heavier and I got these things called cheek dimples, not dimples that are all cute, but when I smile, cheek dimples and you see it. And then I look at my pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Because I see myself in my head in my 20s, 30s, right? But I'm in my 50s now and I don't see the same. So I don't think my beauty thing is as much as outside. It's more of an inside thing,
You know
more in
what's
my
funny?
50s.
I just saw this TikTok video of this artist that was sitting back to back with strangers. He had never met them, and he was sketching them based on how they described themselves. So he
Hmm.
did two women in this video. He was doing two women and they were describing themselves, and the way they were talking about themselves was very kind of like matter of fact, not very uplifting. And he was sketching along based on what they were saying. Well, these same two women were also sent to talk to each other. I think it was like for like 30 minutes before they sat down with this artist. And then the artist had them, he was still sitting back to back with these women. He had them explain the other woman to him.
Hmm.
And the pictures that he drew were, first of all, they're incredible. The fact, I don't know that I could like say, oh, my chin is this shape, or like, I don't know if I could like narrow it down. Like these women were able to do that. But the pictures he showed side by side, he showed like the one of you describing yourself and the one of the stranger describing you. And the one that the stranger described you looked exactly like that woman, right? Like where you are very critical and you are
Mm-hmm.
very harsh, and the way we self-talk to each other is so hard, and like the faces were very hard and very like sad looking, but like the photos that he or the pictures that he drew of the women based on the description of the other person saying what they looked like looked exactly like these women. And first of all, it's incredible
Wow.
that he, like, as an artist, can draw you based on what someone is saying, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but it's just amazing, like, when other people talk about you. And again, it's like you said, like that self-talk, because when I look at you, I don't see that, right? I still see the same person I met, 20 plus years ago. And I don't see it in the same way. But I know I also, like, the way I see myself and the way I self-talk. So like my beauty regiment per se in my 20s, I didn't wear makeup. If I wore makeup, it was very random. It was like some random night out that I would be going out. I think when Wonderful first met me, I was like a complete tomboy. She would always tell me to pull my hair down. My hair was always like pulled up in a ponytail. I didn't have makeup or anything. My regiment was wash my face and put a lotion on. Like there, I wasn't like creams and all this stuff. And then same in my 30s, I was still like I had a couple more like more detailed skin lotions that I would, work on my face. But I really wasn't like a big makeup person until I was probably in my later 30s. I started wearing more makeup. But I'm all about the Korean skincare and I love getting facials. Facials are the jam. I've been going the same esthetician for over 20 years now, and I'll get facials every once in a while from her. And I'm like, God, I wish I could do this every day. Like, this is
Right?
like my skin feels so great. And also, I probably wouldn't look two-toned like this. So that's cool. Yes, we're gonna still talk about this because like my hands are so look, this is crazy. I look like I don't know how to I put self tanner on it. I just missed this spot.
That's so funny. That is so true. Stephanie, since you've been in the beauty world most of your life, tell us your view of the evolution of your beauty regimens.
Mine started when I was really young. My mom had me in good skincare and good makeup from the time I was young. So that was just kind of my world. So I had a skin care regimen from probably my early teens all the way through.
Mm,
And so makeup, I learned more about once I turned like 18 and I was in like cosmetology school and I was working for different makeup brands. And I have always worn what would be considered prestige brand makeup
mm,
from my 20s on. I've always used prestige brand. So I have never bought in a drugstore or anything. I've only bought, but once again, I'm different. I was in that world. So I had
yeah.
access to this
Yeah.
I mean, I worked in there, right? So I had access to all lines of makeup, prestige brand lines of makeup, and access to good skincare. So, and then I had started getting facials probably in my late 20s, early 30s. I was getting regular facials. And then once I became a single mom, that getting the facials actually stopped. I just couldn't afford to do it whenever I was a single
Hmm.
mom. And then I just started back doing it a few years ago. And I even did like microneedling, like where, you know, where they microneedle the face. It makes huge difference. Um, but I love my skincare. Like I tell people my big splurges are my skincare, my makeup, and my hair.
Mm,
Those are my big splurges. That's I make sure my hair's top quality, my makeup's top quality, and my
hmm.
skincare's top quality, you know. But that I was just in that world. So that for me, it's so different. Like when I hear people say, "Oh, I wasn't doing a skincare regimen when I was in my 20s," or especially girls who tell me they used to not wash their makeup off. Like
Oh,
for me, when girls tell me that, I can't breathe because like I've just known for my entire life, you never go to bed with your makeup on.
yeah.
Makeup
Yeah.
Even non-makeup wearers know that.
on.
Yeah.
But
Wash your face. But for me, it's just different because I was in that was literally my world, right? That was my job. Teaching people skincare, teaching people how to do makeup, and also knowing the different looks. You know, I used to have women come in and say, "Oh, I want my makeup to look just like yours," right? So when I was in that world, I always had like a smoky eye and like it was very dramatic, right?
mm,
But looking at the women going, how often do you wear makeup and have you ever had a smoky eye? Because they don't understand. If I put that on them, it's going to freak them out.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
not used to
yeah.
seeing it. They'll be like, "Why you got too much?" So there's little things that you learn when you're in the beauty industry. It's no different than hair. Horror story. I was at Jean Juarez and I had a lady come in and she had brown hair and she wanted to go light. And I asked her, "Well, what color do you want?" And she goes, "I want a strawberry blonde." Well, understand strawberry blonde can mean about 1,000 different things. So I'm asking her, do you have pictures? Do you have this? Do you have that? And then I was trying to talk her into, let me just foil your hair and we'll just take it lighter and lighter and lighter gradually because she'd never had light hair ever. And she was adamant. Well, the only way to take her to what she wanted was a bleaching tone. That's it. That's the only way to do it. And I told I had her sign a waiver. I had her sign a waiver because I knew she's going to hate
Yeah.
this. And I gave her the exact thing she wanted and she left crying because I knew she was not going to like it because you're not used to that. So like those dramatic changes, like people, if they're not used to it, it would be like me dyeing my hair black. It's like, it's not
Right.
gonna, right. So all those little things that when you're in the beauty world that you see women do, and they think they can just go from, oh, I just want this, and then they get it, and then it's not what they think it is, and not what it's gonna look like in their head. It's
Right.
completely different. Yeah.
Well, and I also think, like I think what's unique about the three of us is like you've been in the beauty world most of your life and you had a regimen from your mother. I wasn't, and Lisa was tomboy up until she played sports and did all the things. And I grew up in a culture and around women who weren't up to the standards of like that was a regiment of full makeup wearing, but you never left the house looking messy. Like this is a huge thing in my with my mom, with all of the women in my family. And when I was getting married, and we had, I have a bridal shower, right? So I had one where all of the elders came, all of the grandmothers and the women who've been married a while. And one of the traditions is you give advice and you pin it on the bride to be. And then the bride unpins and takes the time to read it all. And it was shocking. 100% of these elders said the exact same thing. Don't let your husband not see Don't let your husband not see you looking put together. Wake up early, not to make him breakfast, but to get yourself together before he wakes up. And I remember thinking, like, are you serious right now? And I'm reading each one, and it said it in various ways, but it was the same message every time. Comb your hair, never look disheveled, make sure he never sees you a mess. Don't let him in the room when you're having a baby. And I was like, what? Now remember, these are women of like the 20s and 30s and 40s type of women. And then you put culture in it, and you are kind of in this rigid space of women were meant for a specific purpose to always look the part, to know their role in the household, take care of the children, but not look messy. So when the pajama look to leave outside came in, couldn't do it. I couldn't. I can't even wear ripped clothes, you guys. You know how ripped jeans are super popular? Can't do it. I can't. I tried. I bought a pair and I couldn't put it on in public. So I say that to say that although I didn't wear foundation and I didn't know how to layer the look, right? Foundation, blah, 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 blah. But leaving the house without combing my hair or having lipstick or mascara was never, it was a no, it was non-negotiable, non-negotiable. And first day of school with my kids, they got a new outfit. So did mama. So we all came in. So to me, where I see different now is I don't have I don't have those things anymore. Like there isn't a first day of school anymore. There isn't, like winter concerts where when they get a new dress, I get a new dress too. So I'm really actually going through what do you call it? Sort of a midlife crisis in re-identity of my visual representation, right? Like, how much makeup do I want to wear? I love sequins. I love anything sparkly, but do I really want to wear that every day or do I want to look comfortable? There's a lot that goes in because I can't be the old version of me, but I'm not sure. I also don't want to not dress the part. Like, I'm 51. I'm not trying to wear Daisy Dukes or half shirts. You know what I mean? I used to love wearing things that were cleavagey, but that's appropriate in your 20s, not as appropriate in your 50s.
Who
There's so
says?
much.
Who says
Who
it's not
for
appropriate?
me, for
Okay.
me,
I
I
was
don't
like,
want that to
it's
be a
whatever
thing.
you feel comfortable in is appropriate. That's
But not, I mean, I've always been well endowed on the top. So that people looking at that versus my eyeballs, been used to that my whole life, right? And but I'm just not in that place anymore. I want to have like this really classy white button-down t-shirt look. Button-downs look horrible on me.
yeah, because you're
Horrible.
busty. You'll see
Yes.
if you start wearing shirts up to your neck, like this is what you're gonna look like. You're gonna be
So,
two-toned.
so do you guys feel like your evolution of your style and your beauty, has it shifted, or are you in the midst of figuring that out?
Mine shifted, but in a different way. Mine is from where I was so fit, like fit. And I went from that to not realizing why I was gaining all the weight, like the perimenopause, because that's what it was, and not feeling comfortable in my skin, to now
Mm,
slowly as the weight is coming, like, so I didn't feel I could wear the clothes that I wanted to wear
mm.
because, and I had been there, right? I had been that super fit. And I'm like you too, I'm very well endowed up top. So if I wear a turtleneck, I have cleavage. Like, I just, you can see the cleavage through the turtleneck. Okay. Like, just, I'm busty. It is what it is. But for me now, it's going back the other direction. So as my weight is coming off, and now it's, oh, I can wear that now, so it's kind of an opposite journey right now for me, going back the
Mm.
other way. And so, but I also think that we have to be, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this story. I worked at an eye clinic. I ran the front desk at an eye clinic, and I had on a pair of suit pants, and I had on a scoop neck top with like rough, like really cute sleeves. And it just kind of was a baby doll. So it kind of tied right here underneath my boobs. And then it kind of flared out. It was, I mean, I had my little necklace on, everything, right? But I mean, the shirt came up to here, but I still had cleavage because I'm just bigger boobed, right? But it was appropriate. I wasn't like coming out, right? There was a client that came in, and I saw the doctor. And when he left, told me that I needed to change my outfit, that I looked completely inappropriate, and that I shouldn't be dressing like that at work.
Wait, was this a male telling you this?
Male.
Of course.
And I worked for a male doctor. And he was a religious man, everything. But I went to the back, and I was so angry, like my neck was red, and I started crying. And I wasn't, and once again, I wasn't crying because I was like embarrassed, because there was a lady sitting there when he said this to me, and she
Mm.
was reading a magazine, and he walked out the door, and she put her magazine down, and she's like, "Wait a minute, did he just say what I think he said to you?" I was like, "Yeah." And I told the doctor that I worked for. And I said, I don't mean to embarrass you or anything. It's like, but I'm just going to tell you, if I wore a turtleneck, you're going to see cleavage on me. Okay. That's just the facts. And the client's wife came in 2 days later, and the doctor I worked for actually called that other gentleman and told him that, don't you ever talk to my staff like that ever again.
Good for you. Wow.
And he said that it was inappropriate to speak to her like that. He said nothing was wrong with what she was wearing. Well, the wife comes in 2 days later, right? I'm in a full suit. I knew she was coming. I knew she was coming. I'm in a full suit, and I have on like a tank top underneath my suit jacket. But it was like, you know how it is. You wear a nice little
Yeah.
scoop tank top.
Yeah.
My jacket was buttoned. The only thing that was open was right here. And she complained to the doctor I worked for and said that I still was not dressed appropriately. And the doctor I worked for said, well, if you are that offended by what she was wearing, then maybe you should find another doctor.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That a
So
doctor.
that happened to me by a husband and a wife. Yeah. And I was not dressed inappropriately at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Some people.
funnier, he was a school counselor at Marysville High School.
Ugh,
That's what he
that makes
retired
it.
from. He was a school counselor at Marysville Pilchuck High School. Oh, irony of ironies.
Lisa, what about you?
I don't know. I wear whatever I want. Yeah, like I don't know,
But
like if
has it evolved for you, or how has your
um,
style shifted or your beauty shifted for you?
I think like for me, it's always been about comfort for me. Like my
Mm,
my clothes always have to be comfortable to me. Like if I don't feel comfortable in it when I go to try it on, I've also learned, like that's one thing I guess I will say. I've learned that even if I think it looks cute when I go to put it on, if I don't love it when I put it on, I'm not gonna wear it. It'll just end up sitting in my closet and I'll hate it. Um, I wear a lot of black and because I'm in Seattle, and so I live in like black leggings and a t-shirt and a hoodie. Like that's kind of my go-to outfits. You know, and I have the professional look. Like I can clean it up if I want to. Like I can do the glam and I can do the not glam, and I'm comfortable in both spaces as long as my outfit has pockets. Like I don't buy
Mm,
anything that doesn't have pockets. That's like my
mm,
hard rule. Like I'm like, "Oh, that dress is so cute." I'm like, "Oh, it doesn't have pockets. I won't buy it because I know I won't wear it." If it doesn't have a pocket, I
mm,
hate carrying like a purse or a bag, and so I shove everything in my pocket. So like my phone, my keys, they have to go into a pocket, otherwise they're just in my hand and I don't like that. So for me, I don't know, I've always been just like the super like today I'm in sweatpants and a hoodie right now because that's what I felt like wearing this morning. It was cold and it was dreary and I was just like, this is dumb. It's middle of May. I'm over this gray weather because I
yeah.
look like I kick it in the sun, that super hot sun. But
I think that was the thing when my kids were your age, Lisa, that was really like stifling to me is I when I was younger, all through school and even up until kids, the most common comment I would get is, "Why are you always so overdressed?" Constantly. And I didn't care. I was like, I don't know, because I like to wear a lot. Like I love things that are shiny and sparkly and the whole thing, always overdressed. And I like layers and I really love fashion, not for fashion in terms of what's popular. I love the art form of fashion. That to me is really, but as my body shape has shifted, right? And I'm working with these extra, not all fashion looks look good anymore. And that's the piece. Like, if I, you guys, I would love to wear prom dresses all day long. Like, my favorite show as a kid was Dynasty. That I used to go watch, I'd be like, look at Joan Collins and Linda Evans. Like, I would rock that every single day. And Bob Mackie was their designer. I was like, oh, someday I'm gonna wear a Bob Mackie outfit. Like, I just thought Christian Dior, Bob Mackie, all of these very couture dress type was the jam. And that's how I imagined my life would be. And then I had kids that play sports. You cannot wear that in Seattle. That is, oh, it was so stifling. I just thought, oh my God, not another ponytail day, not another. Okay, now I'm past that, but then I don't know if that's where I want to be, right? So it's interesting to recognize how much of that youth, because it's not as I want more comfort today than I do then. Okay, and also not in judgment, but wherever I go, I always look around and look at the aesthetics of human beings, not from judgment, but just how does it look? Like, and a lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still overdressed. And I've really come to terms with that. I am good with that. But being the shape, like both of you are saying, with the more endowment on top, I'll never forget when my girlfriend paid for hers, right? And we were going out one night and she goes, how come you never wear anything that's, showing off your cleavage? And I didn't even get what she was saying. I was like, what are you talking about? I thought my top was super cute. And she's like, no one knows you have boobs. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure people can see I have boobs. And then it hit me and I looked at her and I said, oh, I get it. I said, when you pay for yours, you want to show that off. I mean, that's a pretty penny. I've had mine my whole life and I'm good. Like it comes out every once in a while, but it's really not the thing I'm focusing on, you know, in
yeah.
terms of how I dress. So
I'm
I
at the
say all
part
of that to say,
Wait, so
yeah.
I'm at the part of like when do I not have to wear a bra anymore? When is it socially acceptable to be out in public and just let them do whatever they want to do? Because And then I've got girlfriends that have like nothing, like, I have to wear a bra, I have to push them up. I'm like, but do you? Like, who cares?
And God, doesn't clothes look better on them too,
Yeah,
anyhow?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know about that. And so do you enjoy more of the feminine look today, or because we like just here, just this part, right? We look very feminine, our hair, the whole thing. But what do you most enjoy being in that you think at your age now either makes you look younger or kind of ages you? Because there's both.
I enjoy being in my bed asleep.
That's your outfit, sheets and a
My
pillow.
outfit. I think the thing that, okay, so usually people don't think I'm 45. They're shocked when they find that out. The thing that ages me is my roots. See, they need to be done because
Mm.
my girl just had a baby, so she's a little bit out right now, so can't really go see her. But I also 90% of my day, my hair is like up in a messy mom bun. Like it's usually up and I'm just like, yep, this is my day. Like it's not down very often because I'm picking up kids and we're loading and unloading the car and we're going to the baseball field and the wind is blowing or whatever. So my hair isn't down very often. I say I have, I guess the best way to describe it, I would be sporty spice.
Okay. Okay, girls, Sporty Spice. What about you, Stephanie? What do you think has, you know, like I said, shifted in terms of what you think ages you that you used to wear or makes you look younger that you would wear that particular style as often as you can?
I don't know. At this stage, like I said, I'm still battling knowing what it feels like to feel my best and knowing what it feels like to feel my worst.
Mm,
And I'm not at a place, and I work, listen, I live like 5 days a week, right? I live 5 days a week. I never stopped that. Even when I gained my weight, I never stopped lifting. So, but I still, the clothes that I want to wear, I still don't feel like I look good in because I'm not back to the point that I feel
mhm,
most comfortable in my body. So that's the journey I'm on now is like hating everything because I'm not at the I'm not at the point
mhm.
where I feel the best in my body. So
Yeah.
that is
Right.
that's a journey in and of itself, right? So for me,
Yeah.
it's just it's getting back to where I feel optimal. I think that is the key word is where do I feel optimal? And now, like I said, it's getting that weight off. I'm battling hormones. I'm battling thyroid, so you're doing all this. So I'm like Lisa at this point in time. I'm like, I just want to sleep and wake up and feel good, not sleep and wake up and still feel like I need to sleep.
Yes. God,
Um,
sleep and wake up and feel good. I think that's a key point because I feel like even if you, I will think, oh God, I slept 12 hours, which is, that's a lot. No, I still feel kind of like, I'm dragging and all of that. And I think those are just people could be listening to this going, oh, you should take this and you should take that and you should take this. I don't know. I think the journey of midlife is as your body's transitioning and evolving, it really does come down to this constant balance of I want to look my best and I want to look great, but I also want to feel that way. So then you got to find that perfect balance of like, I guess today's just gonna be a lighter neck and a darker face, right?
I wouldn't have even put on eye makeup and lipstick today if we weren't doing this. Like well, gosh, I didn't even put on, this is the first time I've put on makeup since, oh my gosh, since like 2 Saturdays ago. I haven't put on makeup. I didn't put on makeup at all
Mm,
last week. I went out, I just, I'm like, if I don't have anywhere to be, but I guess that kind of can, I feel like that can age me because I can look tired because my eyelashes are naturally really long, but they go straight down. So if I don't
mm,
like curl them and put mascara to kind of, and mascara doesn't even necessarily hold them up, but like curl them a little bit to hold them up, my eyes look tired because my eyelashes are just like covering my eyes. And so I guess
yeah.
that kind of like ages me more. I think it just more makes me look tired. People are like, why are you
Yeah.
tired? I'm like, I have 3 kids, 45. Like, I don't know when I won't be tired.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, Stephanie and I don't have little kids and we're fine. We're tired all the time in a different way too. But I feel like now I don't leave the house without any make. I can't do it. I really can't. I mentally cannot. When Robert, my husband, will be like, okay, let's go to Target real quick. There's no real quick. There's no real
Mm-mm.
quick. Like you gotta prep me an hour ahead of time because I am not going out. And when I was younger, and my mom would be like, "Oh, you cannot leave the house without even a lipstick on," and I'd be like, "Mom, you need to take a chill pill." Okay, now I get what she's saying because I feel, and it's not about what anybody else sees. It's how I feel about me when I leave the house. Like I want, if I'm already not feeling so good about certain things or other things, that is just one step I take and I'm like, okay, I feel sort of like myself. I feel good. I combed my hair, I got my makeup on and I feel good.
You guys would have thought I was a homeless person last week at the grocery store. My hair was a hot. I like got out of the car. I looked at my hair. I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" I'm surprised they didn't stop me and let me not come in the store.
That is so funny.
I think my
Okay.
thing is I won't go out wearing my glasses because I don't want
Mm.
people to see that because I'm super, super blind. So I don't want people to see that part. So I'll do my contacts. I'll go out without makeup. I'll go out without brushing my hair. Yeah. I was wearing Crocs and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm wearing my son's Crocs and I'm in the grocery store. People see me. Oh well, whatever.
I don't go
Okay.
out in glasses either. I mean, I have like my reader glasses, but I wear my contacts. I only put my glasses on like at night, like after my makeup comes off. But for me too, I'm curious how Lisa grew up. So you said you grew up where your mom was always put together. My mom was opposite, and that really bothered me. I would she'd be in her bathrobe when I would leave for school. I would come home and oh God, this is really going to date it. Do you guys remember culottes? Do you remember? Okay. She would have on a pair of grubby culottes and a grubby t-shirt. Her hair maybe pulled back in a ponytail. It was like disheveled. Like, and she didn't have a mid lane. So it was either just grubby all the time or she was dressed to the nine. There was
Mm.
no in between. And I always hated that. And I was just like, I'm not going to be like that. And I am put together every single day. I would get up before my babies and get ready and get put together every single day. And that, because that just stayed with me. I was like, I just don't
That
want
made an
to,
impression.
made a huge impression on me. And I it's like, nope, I'm not doing that. That is not how I'm going to look. I may have my leggings on, right? I'm going to meet my husband at the gym this evening. I'll have my leggings and my workout shirt on, but my face is on. It's done, I'll pull it up in a ponytail or something at the gym, but it's just that stuck with me with her and there was no middle lane. Like there was just no middle lane. It was either just in grubbies or in high heels and dressed to the nine.
Mm.
That, yeah.
My my mom my mom's never been, even to this day, my mom's not like, she would always like, I'm always dressed in like older clothes. My mom works for the church. So my mom's always very conservative looking.
Wait, back up. Not
Yeah.
that working for the church means
No,
anything like,
no,
yes. Yeah.
no. My
Okay.
mom was just a very conservative dresser. Me being well endowed at the top, I don't know where it came from because my mom is not. And so like you said, anything I wear would show a cleavage and she would be like, "Don't wear that." And I'm like, "What do you want me to wear?" Um, my mom never wore makeup. My mom she hated like hair in her face, so she'd always have her hair like in a barrette, like pulled back, like this style. We're definitely very different in how we present to the world. And I think, but like for me, I love sleeping so much that I would rather sleep for 20 minutes than get up and put makeup on. Like that was my thought for school. Because I remember like the girls would come with makeup and I'm just like, that requires me to get up 20 minutes earlier. That's dumb. I'm not doing that. I'm exhausted. Like, and I was a student, I was like, an athlete too. So, and not to say that these other girls weren't athletes too, but I was just like, I'm tired. Like, I
Right.
don't want to do this. And even now, like, I was like, this morning, I was like, okay, I gotta get the kids up for school. Do I have time to do makeup before our thing today? And I was like, maybe I'll just do it without makeup. I think it'll be fine. I really was like, I'm not putting makeup on for this. There, you be aware, viewers, there would be a day where you're gonna see me in my full natural mode, and then that way you'll recognize me in public because this isn't how I always look unless I have like if I have like business stuff I have to do, then yes, I will like
Yeah.
usually present in that way. But if it's like I'm chill, I'm just working from home today, no one's seeing me except my kids and their school, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And it's interesting because I think a lot of this comparinitis that we have as women is the assumption like, well, oh my God, I can't believe they get judgy. She has to get ready every day. But really, it's shaped by our upbringing, it's shaped by our environment. I went to a school that literally you would get in trouble if your hair wasn't combed. Like there was nothing, no messy anything. Your nails had to be done properly. Like I went to schools and lived in environments and have family line that was about the regimented, through line of you just don't look in any, and no women in my family, I don't remember that wasn't a thing. The women in my family were not high heel wearing, bouffant hair, but they were always put together, very polished, and they just did not even know what the opposite looked like or was. Even if you just did home things, right? That it was actually even more. My mother was one of the only professionals in my family's dynamic. Most of the women in my family dynamic were at-home wives. The expectation of you looking that way put together was even higher because of it, right? Because what else are you doing? Are you kidding me? You don't have time to comb your hair. So I think it was just embedded in my DNA for a long time. Because it's funny when we were younger, now Lisa's younger than me by a few years. She would always, whenever she had like some event where she had to get a dress, she'd call, she goes, wonderful, I need to go in your closet and put on a dress.
Yeah.
And for years, right? For years there was that. And so it makes sense why that was a thing and why I didn't care that people commented how overdressed I was, because it was my dynamic of what I grew up in, and it shapes you. Just like you said, Stephanie, with your mom, you wanted the opposite view of that. And then Lisa, your mom and your lifestyle,
Yeah.
right? Just fit that mold. And I think by talking about our beauty regimen or thoughts and ideas at this age, we really got to let go of the fact that no one is judging you but you. You're
Yeah.
the only judge
And you're
in
your
what you want to
hardest
do.
judge. You're your hardest
Yeah.
critic. We are like our hardest critics. And like Wonderful and I've had this conversation in the past, especially like after I first got divorced, because I was like, oh my gosh, what's it gonna be like when if I ever start dating again or ever start doing this again? And I was like, I don't feel like, and I still to this day, like, I don't feel like I'm a girl that and when I walk in a room, people are like, oh my gosh, like, wow, look at her. Like, I don't feel like I stand out. I just feel like I'm just somebody that walks in. I don't feel like anybody's like, ugh, what is that over there, right? Like,
Right.
just walk in. There's nothing that I notice, right? Where I have some friends where it's like, oh, like when I see them, I'm like, wow, that's so amazing. They're so beautiful. Like, I've always like admired Wonderful. I've always like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Like that was never an attribute I put to myself, right? And then now people are
Right.
like, oh, you're so pretty, or so this, or like on Friday, what was it, Saturday night, I went to the movies and I was wearing no makeup. I just had my hair down, and this girl's like, wow, your hair is so beautiful. And I was like, oh, thanks. Are you talking to me? But that I think, we are our hardest critics. And, as being a mom right now, raising my boys and talking to them about how important it is to self-talk, I'm like, man, I need to be doing the same thing with me because I can't be giving them this advice without taking
Right.
it myself.
Right. Well, and I think, okay, Stephanie, I'm not trying to put you on blast here, but I actually really am. Like, I grew up in the 80s and 90s where your look was what I was going for. Am I ever going to be blonde? Am I ever going to have blue eyes? No, but that was a thing. But what's interesting is most women, especially in the beauty counter space, right? So Nordstrom's was in Washington, Nordstrom was a big thing. And women who worked behind the counter was like, to me, like, oh, they were the pinnacle of all beauty. There wasn't ever a non-attractive human behind those counters, ever. I don't care what race you are, what color hair, gorgeous, right? And I think that what's always kind of messed with my head is when you were as gorgeous, like you as you are, Stephanie, and then you're kind, you're nice, you're easy to talk like that. Because I think most people are looking for you to be a little
A
bit
bitch.
of a bitch, a little bit of like, like, I don't know, I wouldn't wear that, right? And I think that's where it also shapes the way. Because even though Lisa, you're very like, I don't give a shit, but you are beautiful and other people recognize that about you. You're not sitting there going, I don't want to hear it, back up. You're just like, oh, I just didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas I think, especially Stephanie, in your line of work, it's an expectation you should be as beautiful as you are, but not nice.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
It's like
think
the
that?
resting, yeah, it's like resting bitch face, right? Like I do have that resting bitch face. I do. And most most people think until they get to know me that I'm probably a bitch. And then once people talk to me and get to know me, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so nice." I was like, "Oh yeah, what did you think?" And but
Right.
it's that impression, right? It's your look. It is. But what's crazy is it didn't happen till more towards my midlife. I was always embarrassed if somebody complimented me. Like I wasn't supposed to
Mm,
Yep.
accept the compliment.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
if
yeah.
somebody complimented my
No, no,
hair,
no, no. Oh, no, no. It's
yep,
this. Yeah. Yep.
yep,
Nope.
Yeah.
that right there. Yeah, that I'm not supposed to accept the compliment that it's like I'm being arrogant or you're being
Hmm.
self-absorbed if you, oh, thank you very much.
Right.
Yep.
Like I really had to break from that because I just felt like you just weren't supposed to take a compliment and people weren't supposed to compliment you.
Yeah. I've been trying
Yeah.
to work on that too because I remember someone saying when you deny a compliment, you're denying good things coming into you. And so I've been
Hmm.
very mindful when people give me a compliment to just be like, "Oh, thank you." You know, and then being like, even if I don't necessarily like believe it, I need to like allow that compliment to come into me and then also not force myself to compliment them back. I don't want to give an ungenuine
Mm,
compliment,
yeah.
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think that is where a lot of our discourse as women
Hmm.
is then we feel this obligation to say it too, right? Oh, you too. And I
Yeah.
just feel like, no, I'm with you on that. Because it's like when people bring their babies. I ain't saying how cute your baby is if your baby ain't cute. And I'm not saying the baby will never not be cute. Just right
Yeah.
now. Is
You're not
that
gonna fake it to make it.
right? Like my
My
middle
mom used
child
to
who
say they're
became,
precious.
yeah, like
So,
my
yeah,
middle child,
that's what she'd say. They're precious. Oh, she's so precious. But she wouldn't say they were cute if they weren't cute. She would just say they were precious.
well, I don't even go that far. I just don't say anything because I remember my middle child who actually became a professional model who got
Yeah.
paid a lot of money to be the way she was not cute when she was born. Mm-mm. Like, so I am with you on that, Lisa. I feel like insincere compliments are more detrimental than when we're honest with each other about, you know, oh, thank you, my hair,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
that type of thing.
Well, I think, like Stephanie, you're talking about resting bitch face, right? Like I know I have, especially if I don't wear makeup, I very it's wonderful. You used to always yell at me, smile. And I was like, fuck you. Like I'm not gonna smile. I'm not gonna smile. But it's so funny because I do a lot of like parent volunteer stuff and people are like, "Oh, like why are you so involved?" I'm like, "Because I care about the kids. I don't care about the adults. I don't want to engage with the adults." And people are like, "Oh, you're kind of unapproachable." And I'm like, "But here you are." Like, why are you here then? I'm so unapproachable. But then people are like, "Oh, you're so nice. I didn't realize." And I'm just like,
Yes.
"Okay. I give you
Right.
the energy that you give me. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna like go above and beyond that. I'm not gonna outright be mean for no reason, but I'm also not gonna be overly nice for no reason either."
I'm totally the opposite. I should have gone into the world of politics because I milk it. I love it. I just be walking around, hey, oh
I walk
my gosh.
away when we're in group settings. She'll like keep engaging. I'm like, I'm done with this, and I just like, oh,
Oh
bye.
yeah. I work the room so hard. It's just a thing. Again, it's the upbringing,
You're
like
so
the
fascinated by
family.
people.
Oh yeah, and I think the family dynamic, like you, it's not proper to not engage in an environment that you're in when you come from a proper. And I can't say any, I don't know how else to describe it than other than I grew up in a very proper setting with a proper family, and the expectation was proper behavior. So it to me it makes sense regardless whether I feel like it or not. I just oh my gosh, hey. And I
I'm the
can't take a
opposite.
compliment.
I'm
And
the
I'm the
opposite.
observer. Yeah, I'm the observer. I'll go to like, when I was going to networking events, I can go to like events, not talk to anyone and just observe everybody. I just watch people. And usually I can watch them and figure out like what kind of dynamic they are. But I'll sit there and just be completely silent and just watch everybody.
See, you two really give beautiful faces a bad name because that's why they be thinking that. You two over there like which is funny because I naturally gravitate to that personality in big rooms. I'd be like, "Ooh, what's their story? Why are they so quiet? What's your name? What's up? What's going on?" And I think that is just what I'm trying to say here is what we're all trying to say here is that old adage, don't judge a book by its cover, because
Yeah.
the truth is my little political version of me that's hey kissing all the babies is not necessarily going to be the person you're going to want to long term with, because I don't answer voicemails, I rarely check emails. These two are probably on top of everything, like loyalty is their key core motivator and navigator, and they're just in it to win. And I just feel like that's where I think women get really weirded out about, like, yeah, you should have a meter, right? The meter of whether, and it energetically, that's the meter. It doesn't matter how somebody looks on the outside, although we do care a lot. I don't care what if you're a farmer or what, women give a lot of shits about how they look, how they present to the world,
Yeah. It's
makeup
just
or no
different
makeup.
levels, just different levels of
Right.
like what you
Different
care.
levels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And
And
no,
here
and
we
no,
are.
no level is wrong or right. Like you gotta
Exactly.
do what's comfortable for you. Like if you see me in the wild, this is not what I normally look like. Don't be alarmed.
That is so funny. And that's really kind of what intrigued me about getting this girl sesh together, because I think the assumption on the outside is people assume we're going to be one way, but the real talk of who we are presents something different. And I think that's what needs to be more expressed and shown out there in the world, because everybody, I don't want to do a live. I don't want to do this because I have to look at myself. And then honestly, no one cares as much as you do.
Yeah, if you go look at Wonderful's other YouTube channel, her podcast, I'm gonna plug this. I thought we were doing this private recording. I look a complete mess, and she put that for the whole world to see. So, this is true love that I haven't punched her in the face. If you want to see what I really look like, you can go there. It's on YouTube. Bold
Well,
and out
okay.
there.
Stephanie, what did you just spend an entire hour telling us? I don't care. This is what I look. I figured you don't care, so I posted it. Now
She
I
cares a
know.
little.
I mean, I know Stephanie's miss, I wake up before the kids. There's no way I would even put that in there if it wasn't ready, but I highly doubt she wouldn't be ready, right? So I think there's always a middle ground, but I just want to point out too, everybody talks about being authentic.
Mhm.
Well, authenticity is that. Some days, like you said, you haven't worn makeup in a while. Do you have to wear makeup to be in this girl sesh? No, but it's how you want to present,
Yeah.
right?
I want to
And
present this
so
two-tone look.
I think that's just it. Honesty is honesty, no matter how it is. And although, if you watch our past conversations, Stephanie is all about midlife and getting our energy. And she just spilled the beans about being so tired, like pregnant tired. It it's not about like keeping that perfection the entire time.
Yeah.
It's about being in the moment of that experience right now is what it is. And that's all there is to it. So if you want to stay in the midst of real conversations and real people and real women in midlife, talking all the ish, sharing our personal spaces, come back every week right here and then share this with everybody you know that needs support or to be schooled or to just feel like somebody relates to them. Agreed?
Agreed. And sorry we missed last week. Yes, we try and do this every week, but last week the world just collapsed and we just couldn't do it. So, we're back. And there's going to be weeks that we
Yay!
might not have recordings, and just know that it's not because we don't want to record. It's just that's life and that's what happens.
Yeah. And it's
Yep,
not
life happens.
yeah, and it's not because we're so tired either, because even when we're tired, trust me, we
Mhm.
get on. But yeah, sometimes it's just honesty and being in our truthful spaces is what we react really bring to light in reality versus what we think you want to see. Because that's not it. All right, until next time, everyone. Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.